All right. Let's see. Yes, we're live. So, hey, we're going behind. We're not behind. We're going beyond business basics for your business growth. And all across YouTube, you can find that basic business growth information, including some of our past morning shows. So we're taking you beyond the basics to the next level. It all started on yesterday where we had discussion questions. And so our discussion questions from yesterday were, do the visuals of your brand match the investment you ask for your services? If your brand were a person, what two or three words would people use to describe it? So other people looking at your brand, experiencing your brand, not you, okay? And then last but not least, what do you think people should expect every time they interact with your business, okay? Like what are some words that come to mind of what you want people to expect from your business, okay? I'm gonna check back over here on Facebook because I don't think anybody came in here and answered the question, but I don't want to assume nobody did. But the last I checked, they did not. Okay, so nobody in the community answered the question on yesterday because you know this all starts on Tuesdays with our discussion questions with the Talk About It Tuesday. So we're going to start in studio. We have Dr. Tachi and Dr. Latoya. So we're going to start with Dr. Tachi. Dr. Tachi, these three questions, do you want to answer them individually or kind of give me a summary of what your answer would be?
Hey, good morning.
Okay.
Uh, let's see. So I'm going to do them individually. So
Okay.
the visuals of the brand match the investment that I ask for the services. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
yes, they will.
Yes, they will.
Yeah. If your brand were a person, two or three words. Um,
Of how other people would describe it.
I think other people would say dynamic,
Okay.
and it sounds trite but unique because I've heard that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. I like that. I like that. Okay. Third question.
Um, what should they expect every time they interact with the business?
Mm-hmm.
They should expect to be entertained.
Yes.
They should expect information. They should expect engagement.
I love that. I love that. So all of that, as you can tell, we're kind of describing your brand, right? All right, let's go to Dr. Latoya. Dr. Latoya, discussion questions. You want to answer one by one or kind of give an all-encompassing answer?
I think it'll be one by one. I
Okay.
think the visuals do match the investment that I asked for my services. Um,
Mm-hmm.
if my brand were a person, what two or three words would people use to describe it? That is a very interesting question. Um,
I know, right?
um, I don't probably they would if my brand were a person. I'm gonna come back to that one. What do I
Okay.
think people should expect every time they interact with my business? They should expect authenticity.
Mm,
Um, they should expect like just directness, so like no fluff.
yes.
Just grounded. So authenticity, grounded information, and think real world things that move them forward. So back to if my brand were a person, I think that people would use to describe it. I don't know. That's all I got. I don't know.
Okay, no problem. So again, we're talking about brand, right? And your brand is about the optics, right? That was in the first question. It's about how other people see you is your brand. And then there's how you want them to see you is what these questions are about. But we are going beyond. Okay, we're talking about brand identity, but we're going beyond the basics. We're going beyond a brand guide. We're going beyond visuals like colors, fonts, and mood boards. We're going beyond your brand consistency and your promise, and beyond your brand clarity. Okay, in fact, we're going to talk about three main parts And I'm gonna use a few colorful words so that maybe you remember. Okay, so let's start out with the first part is gonna be how your shit looks. Okay, that is your brand identity, but we're gonna go beyond the basics. The second part of this formula is not the brand story as your brand strategy, but a brand ecosphere. Okay. The third part of this is going to be not just clients as a revenue lane, but brand partnerships. All right. So listen for those three sections. I'm giving you a lot today. So you want to listen up. In studio, you want to go ahead and click on those show notes. If you want show notes, especially for days like today, you need to become a trusted partner, a trusted part of our community and come in studio because this go round, we're only giving in studio people the pleasure of being able to follow along with the show notes. However, you guys out there in YouTube land listening, you can pause and repeat and write it down. But if you want the convenience of show notes, you have to be in studio. All right, cool. Now, the next level is understanding that brand identity is not your color, not logo, not fonts, not even your messaging. Those are merely expressions of your brand. The brand itself, well, that's the expectation people create in their minds before they even experience your service. Okay. So most entrepreneurs, they still focus on what does my brand look like? But the next level, what does my brand cause people to believe, feel, expect, remember, and repeat? Okay. So number one, next level of brand identity is going to be going from visual consistency. That's basic. You should already be doing that. We're going from that to market perception architecture. Sounds next level, don't it? Well, let me explain to you what it is. Every visual either increases or decreases your perceived value. So high ticket clients are subconsciously asking, does this person operate at my level? Do they have standards? Do they have systems? Are they established? Are they thoughtful? Can they handle complexity? Will working with them be easy? Right? So a lot of us want to charge high ticket prices, but we're not out here looking high ticket at all. Okay. We don't look like we can handle the service that a lot of these people know costs money. So we need to be looking like that. Okay. So your visuals answer those questions long before your sales copy, right? Way long before that. Let me see. Are we? Yeah, we're on live. Okay, so I got 10 tips for you. So listen up. 10 tips to level up your visuals. Move your graphic design to brand cinematography. Okay, we beyond Canva now. You need more than Canva. Okay. Premium brands create visual worlds. So let me give you some other AI tools. Okay. You got Midjourney. You got ChatGPT image generation. It has come a long way. Let me tell you. So if the last time you tried ChatGPT to create an image, there was five fingers and a thumb. The words weren't English and all that. Those days are over. You need to try it again. You have Adobe Firefly, you have Ideogram, you have a whole bunch of other visual graphic design tools that you can use that are AI. But let me tell you what you should be creating, okay? Consistent branded environments. Okay, we're talking not just what's in the foreground, also what's in the background. Okay, custom editorial imagery. So that is going to be the use of your fonts and space around images. Okay, luxury lifestyle scenes. Give people a whole scene of how they should be feeling or how they feel now and what the pain they want to get away from that type of thing. So whole scenes. Okay, business transformation imagery. I like to use a lot of smiling faces with somebody, giving a credit card and somebody taking one as a sign of increased revenue, for example. And branded visual metaphors. Okay. So some of these phrases that you're using, you should have some type of branded visual that you use for that phrase. All right. That was just tip number one. Let's go to number two. You need to be creating signature visual language. Okay. Yes, we all have colors, but we need to get into recognizable aesthetics. So start thinking about the form of or the type of photography that you use every time, the type of lighting used, the depth of field. Do you always have like something in the front and then the back is a little blurred out, or the front is a little blurred out and something in the background is the focal point? Image composition, image emotion, image pacing, okay? That could be space around stuff. That could be actually the speed of video type of thing. So all of these things create a signature visual. Another great example of signature visual could be like your YouTube thumbnails. Do they look the same every time? As in, is it always, if you do interview type stuff, is it always a person on this side, a person on this side, and the words in the middle, some type of gradient? Like, what is the actual signature that your visuals are communicating? Okay. So when somebody sees your content without your logo, can they recognize it? That's kind of what we're playing with there. Tip number 3, AI powered personal brand photography. Gone are the days where you got to take brand photos all the time. Okay. So when you go and you have brand photography, lifestyle photography, those pictures usually last about, we're going to say 3 years. If you don't change a lot, maybe 5 years. But guess what? People get sick of those same pictures over and over again. This is where AI comes in, because most people have that one profile picture that's in that one blazer and that one pose, and they use it. Lord have mercy, they just keep using it and using it and using it. I am guilty of that also, right? To me, that's a part of what you can expect from my brand. I changed the photo, or I should say, the pictures from one photo session from quarter to quarter. So I might be in the same dress, but it's different poses for different things, right? But now AI can create whole authority environments. They can put us in a boardroom. They can put us on a conference stage. They can put us in some type of training room. They can put us in a luxury office. They can have us looking like we're having a strategy session. It can look like we're doing a media interview, and it can have us looking like keynote speakers. All right. So it's not that it's fake, because your picture is great, but we're adding to the background with AI. Now, if you have somebody advanced on your team, they can even take the same picture, the same pose, and change your clothes. Okay. So we're thinking strategic representation. The goal is visual reinforcement of positioning. So, we're just basically, this is me, but this is me in all types of different environments that are aligned with what I do. And also, this is me in a little fashion that's not the same fashion over and over again. Okay. Let's go to tip number 4, motion graphics over static graphics. Nowadays, there is AI that can take your static picture, your picture that's just a normal picture and doesn't move, and make it move. Not a full 30-minute video, not even a 3-minute video. Sometimes it might be 30 seconds, 15 seconds, but enough to catch the eye and keep the eye, right? So high ticket brands increasingly use subtle animation, moving backgrounds, micro interactions. So it might be that the hand is moving, right? And that's kind of all that's moving, but that's enough to catch your eye. So micro interactions, motion typography. That's, your fonts, your words moving some kind of way. Now, what tools can you use for that? Canva Pro, Adobe Express, Figma, Rive, which I had never heard of until I did this research, RIVE. Okay. So movement signals investment. Investment signals seriousness, and seriousness signals value. All right. So get a little motion in there. So we are moving away from images that just sit there to images that move. All right. Tip number 5, build a visual proof ecosystem. So most people are doing testimonials. Some brands are showing evidence by creating these visuals that are like transformation metrics. Okay. And it's not about, again, we've said this on former shows, it's not about you are amazing. Instead, it's all about what's in it for them. Things like you showing with visuals the before and the after, you showing the process, You showing implementation maps. It's almost like an infographic, okay? You could be showing growth snapshots. So instead of a before and after, it could be snapshots of all along the way of how things will look. You could be showing strategic frameworks in a visual way. But we're going beyond just a testimonial, and we're going to visuals that show the testimonial in the transformation, okay? Tip number 6, AI powered authority assets. All right. What is that? That is, we should be, by now, you should have a framework. We've talked in the past about there are phases to your service where you should have given those phases some type of sexy name. And we're going to use that as the framework. I have a few, right? So I have 6 phases to 6 figures. When it comes to marketing, I have the Foo Fighters. When I'm talking about the lead funnel, the tofu, mofu, bofu, I call them Foo Fighters. And so even when you have a framework that's like the process, like clarity, structure, strategy is mine, right? All of those things are frameworks. And so you can use those things to create 3D framework models, animated diagrams, these like executive dashboards of, where they are with each step, branded methodology maps. I love to use the maps that kind of give them a visual of the path they're going to have to take to go through your framework. Okay. And of course, AI can help with all of that. Tip number 7, we need premium website visualization. Now, websites we talked about last week. So you should have a great foundation of going above and beyond with your website, but let's talk about how it looks. Interactive elements like assessment tools, decision tools, visual pathways, client journey maps should be a part of that website, because I want you to start thinking about the executive high level filling websites that are out there. Okay, that's lots of white space, that's lots of hierarchy showing and displaying, simplicity, a lot of confidence. So I want you to get away from crowded pages using 15 different colors on one page and some of them clashing. So we can't even see the brand in there because you're using so many colors. Excessive icon using, a little picture symbol everywhere on the page. Long pages where they have to endlessly scroll. Get away from all that. That does not feel luxury. It does not feel high level at all. All right. Tip number 8. We're almost finished with our tips. Create a brand world. A brand world. What does that mean? That means everything feels connected. The look and the feel and all of that stuff is the same across all of your assets. What do I mean by all of your assets? Your website, your social media, your presentations, any PDFs that you make, any email designs, any videos that you put out, any events that you have, any speaking decks that you use, all of that kind of stuff, same visual DNA, same emotional experience, same standards. Okay, so make it a whole world so that everything is aligned. When they see stuff, they know that's part of your stuff. Okay, tip number 9, signal partnership readiness. This is the next level. We're trying to do more than get individual clients. Okay, we're signaling, we want other people to want to work with us. Okay, groups of people, brands of people, other companies, lateral partnerships, strategic partnerships. We want to be ready. What does that look like? Well, most people looking to partner or that you want to partner with are asking a few questions. Can you represent their brand? Okay. Can you speak on their stage? Can you handle media? Can you work with high level people? They're asking things like that. Now, what are the signals, your visuals, or what kind of visual assets should you have? You should have a professional media kit. You should have a speaker one sheet, an executive bio, which is different than the one that is on your social media. You should have branded case studies that you can show and share. You should have thought leadership reports, okay? Something where you're evaluating the state of your or portions of your area of expertise. Annual impact reports. One of the reports I like to do annually is I'm predicting, things that are going to happen in the business world that will affect you guys at your level. Online service-based businesses that are trying to make it to their first six figures. What are the things going on in the business world and in the client ecosphere that will impact you? So that's one of the reports that I do. So start thinking about how you can get these things together for strategic partnership readiness. Okay. Um, Last but not least, well, I said I had 10 tips. I got 9. So this is the last one, y'all. If you do not know where to start, if you're saying, I appreciate all this information that you're giving me, but I don't know how to make it look like that, you can do AI assisted testing. So all you got to do is use AI to help you to evaluate. Give it your website snapshots. Give it your sales pages. Give it your snapshots of your social profiles, and let it look at your speaking decks, and let it look at your lead magnets, the finished product, and ask it things like, hey, what assumptions would a client that I want to pay $5,000 make in 10 seconds about this asset? What assumptions would a corporate partnership that I'm trying to pitch for this make about this speaker one sheet or these case studies? What um what looks premium versus amateur, or what looks high end versus cheap? And you show it your example, and then what signals low budget, because none of us want to be low budget. Okay, so AI can help you to evaluate all this stuff. You could take the information I've said today, put in your screenshot, and ask it, what will the people I want to see this think of this, because my goal are these things, and these things are the things I've shared with you today. All right. Now, that was just the first part of next level. That was making your brand identity. Now, let's talk about how we're going to communicate this brand. All right. We're going beyond a brand guide, and we're going into a brand operating system. Now, you already know that's my language, brand operating system. I don't just want people who have to create things for me or see my brand to just see colors, just see a logo, just see the fonts, okay? Even though I have consistent use of all three of those things. I want to create an operating system for my brand, and this is what that is, okay? Get ready for this. I want uh, I want to create what I want it to communicate what I believe, right? So that's the philosophy. That could be your mission, vision, belief system, right? What we stand for, those values, what I refuse, okay? Because I have standards. I don't agree with everything around my industry or around the service that I provide. So I have standards. I wanted to communicate what I teach or what I think. So thought leadership. I want my brand to communicate what I deliver, the transformation. Okay, a lot of y'all still get hung up on the features, this many videos, this many PDF. No, the transformation. Who will they be, or what will they have at the end of working with you? Transformation. I want to communicate how I deliver the transformation. That's going to be the experience that they're going to have with me. I want to communicate a sound or a voice, right? A lot of you, if you've been listening to me for a while, you understand certain things about my voice. And my very voice is probably in your head telling you stuff that I've repeated over and over again, right? I want my brand to communicate how I want you to feel, or that I understand how you feel. So there should be this emotional signature there that my brand is communicating. It should be communicating what I want to be known for. So what category of expertise do I own? And you guys know, for me, that is going to be business growth, getting you to your first six figures. So that's like my lane. My coaching is not for people who are already at their first six figures. It is not for people that are ready for someone to come inside their business and work for them. That's not what my coaching brand is for. Okay. Last but not least, I want my brand to communicate expectations. Okay. What they can expect to feel, what they can expect to experience, those type of things. So market perception is the last thing that I want my brand to communicate. All right. Let's go to our third part of the formula, which is we're going next level from brand recognition, them knowing our brand when they see it, to market ownership. Now, this is real next level, right? Just like when we talked about not just clients, also partnerships. We're talking about not just being known when we're seen, but being thought of when it comes to the market that we're in. That is real next level. Okay. So most of you focus on being recognizable. You want more visibility, more followers, more engagement, more awareness. And that's cool. But that's not enough. And that's not next level. That's the basic level, right? When we first start, those are all the things we want. Next level is that recognition is alone is not enough. Next level is becoming synonymous in our industry. When people think of a specific resort, a specific problem, a specific thought process or philosophy, or a specific transformation, they think of you, right? When I think of independent entertainment networks, I think of Dr. Sachi. When I think of spirituality in a way that is guiding me to live the life that I want, that is not religious, right? It's coming from me. I just have to understand my power. I think of Dr. Toya. Okay, so what is it about your industry and the things around what you do that when people think of that, they think of you? I've done so well with being a fractional COO that when people hear other C-suite things, they still think of me. People are out here asking for fractional CMOs and fractional CTOs, but when they see a fractional in C-suite, they think of me. They tag me and stuff all the time that is not operations because I am synonymous with being a fractional C-suite executive, right? So you want to have that kind of thought process and ownership over your expertise. So let's see. The next thing is I want to give you 5 strategies to own your area, your market of expertise. Okay. Strategy number 1, borrow from your existing authority. Okay. So some of you have some authority out here. You just don't have a visual of that authority. So you need to use things like podcasts and summits and articles that either mention you or about you, panel discussions that you either have led or were on the panel, collaborative trainings. I train inside of other people's programs all the time, executive or expert roundups. If you don't have a visual of your expertise, these are some of the things you can go out there and be looking for so that you can capture as visuals of your authority. Okay, so that's strategy number 1. Borrow from your existing authority. Strategy number 2, build a speaker ecosystem. Okay, a lot of you are out here going to events and you're hearing people up there on the stage saying that they're an expert and you know way more than them. But do you have something set up so that you can be on that stage next time? So you should be creating things like a signature keynote speech, a signature workshop or training that you do, some type of signature video that could be like a scissor reel, okay? Some type of signature speaker page that is on your website, a media page on your website, and then even a speaker one sheet. And this is a digital one-page PDF it's almost like a sales page or sales PDF one-sheeter about your speaking ability. What do you speak about? What can people call you in as an expert on? That type of thing. Strategy number 3, become the source. Okay? Don't just be out here talking about stuff and talking about the same stuff that everybody else is talking about. Become the source. So, a lot of you are discussing trends. What I want you to start doing is own the conversation. Start creating the conversation instead of following the conversations. Okay? I'm going to give you 2 examples. A weak way of being in the conversation is saying, here's what I think about AI. A stronger version of that is, here's how AI changes operational structure for service-based businesses. Now, these are examples for me, right? So I can be out here saying, hey, this is what I think about AI, or I can say, hey, AI can be used to do this specific thing for this area of my expertise, okay? Another example. Here's my opinion. Stronger, here's my framework. Right? That framework is gonna up level you every time. All right. So partners seek original thinkers, not people that are repeating other internet conversations. Come out and have a new conversation or start the conversation. Strategy number 4, we only got one more after this, is create partnership assets. We all want partnerships. Partnerships are the quickest way to hit your revenue goals rather than going one client at a time. Partnerships give you a chance to do one to many, you as one and them to many. Okay. So you need partnership assets. Let me tell you what that looks like. It looks like a partner deck. In that partner deck, you should have your audience demographics, your reach, your expertise, previous collaborations, and the opportunities that you're giving them to work with you. Okay, that's a partner deck and what should be in it. You should have a sponsorship deck. Okay, every expense related to your marketing efforts, your event hosting, all of that can be funded by somebody else. But the first thing you need, a sponsorship deck. Again, your audience size, your engagement, your visibility opportunities. Like, what do you have coming up? Do you have some, because sponsors like to be seen as a part of what you're doing. So if you're going on other platforms and you can say, my sponsors are visibility opportunities. Also, your deliverables. What are you going to give them? Are you going to mention them in the email blast? Are you going to mention them on the stage? Is it going to, or on the step and repeat with their logo appear? What kind of deliverables are you going to give them for their sponsorship? All right. Last but not least, you need a media kit. You heard me say that earlier in the conversation. Well, a media kit includes your bio, photos or your headshots, and some lifestyle photos, speaking topics, interview topics, your achievements, what makes you a unique selling proposition, you yourself or your brand. So those are the things that you would put in your media kit, as well as, where you've been featured before that are big names. Okay. Last but not least, our strategy for this last piece of the formula, which is going from being recognized to going to just market domination, like owning your part of the universe with your expertise. Strategy number 5, become a connector. In fact, become the connector. Market owners introduce opportunities. You don't just take opportunities, right? You don't just have thought leadership. You introduce opportunities. And you can do that by creating things like directories, referral networks, expert databases, collaboration events. You have created the event to collaborate with others. Community spotlights, even awards, right? My award season is coming up soon, and so I can't wait to give you guys more information about that. But I've done collaborative events. In fact, the last summit that I had, that was 5 days, I brought in other operations experts who have an expertise in a different area of operations than I do. So my area is managing teams, managing CEOs, and managing the business operations. That's where I focus. I'm in the business doing work. Well, I have laterals within the operations ecosphere that do different things. I have some that only focus on mapping out processes and creating the SOPs. They don't manage people. They create the structure and they give you the structure, and then somebody like me will lead the implementation of that structure. So there are different people in my industry that are also operations experts. Some of them are also fractional COOs, but they don't do exactly the piece of the pie that I do. Can you collaborate with people like that in your industry? All right. So people with networks attract partnerships faster than people with content. Because partners often value access as much as they value expertise. So when you can say, not only can I come on your stage, but instead of you trying to figure out how you're going to put a panel together, myself and the other operations professionals that I have in my network can come as a panel to you. See how that could be more helpful to somebody putting together an event? Collaboration, network opportunities. All right. So that was a lot of information. It really was. But our in studio guest had the link, and they could follow along with the tips, which was 9 tips, with the strategies, which was 5 strategies. But I want to ask first, Dr. Tachi, what do you think about when we think about brand and we think about the basics that everybody has finally learned, now going above and beyond? And a part of that is creating a brand identity, which is the first part of the formula. The second part of the formula um, being next level brand strategy, which is partnerships. And finally, the last thing would be the actual market ownership, not just market recognition. What do you think about that being the formula of going to the next level? And what are some of the strategies that we talked about today that you feel like you should be implementing?
This is thorough, complete, and spot on. Seriously, because the funny thing is, I was just working yesterday on what you just talked about.
Ooh,
Yes, because I
love
had a
that.
whole conversation with Mrs. PT, as I call her, and about this whole thing in terms of really trying to refine and next steps now that since we're on hiatus. And the funny thing is, what you said
Mm-hmm.
in more elaborate terms is what I also got from that session. And so just to briefly tell you, I just wrote this down. So
Mm-hmm.
the partnership assets part of it, I already
Yes.
have a media kit, but looking at it yesterday, I'm like, this needs to be revised a little bit because the media
Mm-hmm.
kit
Mm-hmm.
I fed the information in for, but somebody else did, and I actually redid because I felt it needed to a little more umph. So then I was like, well, I really could have done it myself. But a media kit I have, but it needs revising. The sponsorship deck is what that session said, and it's asking me questions because I said, okay, what do you need from me in order to create this? And it's asking questions, and the things that you said are exactly what I was like, okay, wow. So,
Yeah.
and then in terms of becoming a connector, and you were talking about like awards and collaborative events. Definitely, I want to have awards for creators, right, on the platform. And in terms of collaborative events, when you were talking about having somebody having an event, I have a whole network of creators. We could even I could have a panel on X, and we could come and do XYZ. So
Yes.
there we go.
I love that. I love it. I love it. I love it. All right. Let's go to Dr. Toya. Dr. Toya, what do you think about this, 3-step formula for brand identity going beyond just, having a brand board with your colors and your fonts and stuff, and having those basic brand things into following our 3 steps of the formula to up level, which is, creating this marketing perception architecture, how people see you, like we're really creating and building that. We are creating a brand operating system instead of just a brand guide, and we are creating market ownership and not just brand recognition. What do you think about those things, and which of the strategies or tips do you feel like you're going to implement and get great success from?
Yes, no, I absolutely, like Dr. Tachi, think that this is one point. I did a pretty extensive brand audit. So I think, like, sorry, I'm eating. So like you said, like a lot of the things that you said came up, but what I am definitely going to implement, and I didn't have the words for it, was two things:
Okay.
the partnership assets. Um, because I realized, like, just in kind of evaluating my last few months, my last few programs have sold out based on presentations I've did in other people's groups.
Yes.
And I was like, okay, I haven't developed that as I haven't developed that as a thing at all. And so I was like, I know that I need to do something around it, but I didn't quite know how to frame it or start to think about it. And
Mm-hmm.
so kind of you talking through it and that partnership asset and basically building out like the media kit, but just from a different angle, I think is going
Yes.
to be super, super, super helpful for me,
Mm-hmm.
particularly since I've identified that that is a wonderful conversion tool.
I love that. And don't forget, there's this thing that I do that has been very successful in me kind of showing proof. Instead of me in my media kit and on my speaker page saying, oh, I'm an engaging speaker, that type of thing. I'm an interactive trainer. I love to do virtual events, and I love to take my time when my time is over, stay in the event, even though I'm not highlighting and I'm not speaking, and capturing those comments off on the side. I love that. And after the event, I put that in kind of like a speaker reel. And I remind people, hey, I'm the shit at this speaking thing, right? And I have the video of them showing, those actual comments from the Zoom. And then whoever hosted the event always comes on my post and say, you were dynamic, you were this, you were that. So now I have social proof to give people that not only did the audience think I was great, but I actually helped the host achieve their goal and they thought I was great. So that's something else, Dr. Latoya. Like when you finish speaking, stick around, not to keep talking, but to kind of capture your social proof. Because when you are a dynamic speaker, people in the comments are always talking about it, right? They are parroting some of the phrases that you said. Like I get that all the time. I call them canonisms, right? So Shay Cannon said this, whatever, but then I catch them when people start to repeat them. So I don't know where it comes from, but I tend to talk in sound bites. But I think it's because I'm a teacher, right? I speak a language where you can remember, and those end up being those quotables. So yeah, we need those things. So keep that in mind too, because when we realize that is a great strategy to talk that one to many through partnerships, we need proof that we're a great partner because we want more partnerships. And so when we pitch ourselves, we can say, hey, go look at this, go look at that, or I'm sharing this instead of a speaker reel of me speaking. You know what I'm saying? I'm sharing a reel of all the comments from my speaking. That's next level than a mug, right? So think about doing that rather than just only what other people are doing, because that's going to help you to stand out too. What do you think about that?
Yes, no, I like that. I have tried to start being more mindful, even when I'm doing like my own workshops,
Mm-hmm.
catching taking screenshots of the chat.
Yep.
So I've been doing one, remembering what you say, like at the end,
Yes.
right?
Mm-hmm.
But normally I'm looking at the comments. I was like, oh, that's nice, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
I've tried to be more mindful of actually taking snapshots of it, but it hasn't stuck yet as a practice. But
Yep.
this is going to give me another like reason to make sure that I am one staying in the chat, engaging the chat, and
Yes.
capturing, not just receiving. So yes, thank you.
Yes. I love that. Capturing, not just receiving. Baby, that was a quotable right there. So yes, I love that. All right, guys. Another great session, right? So this has been Make It Make Sense Live, which is an interactive business discussion as part of our free First Six Figures Business Mastermind community. And that community positions Black and Brown female online service-based entrepreneurs to generate your first six figures by learning how to make the money to fund your lifestyle of freedom. This is part of a week-long discussion, okay? It's meant to position you and your business for growth, but let me tell you, it all started yesterday. Tuesdays are Talk About It Tuesday, where we release our discussion questions for the week. Wednesdays, today, are the live discussion where you get all the value, like you got today, around the topic for the week, okay? But tomorrow, the value continues because every Thursday, we release case studies that drive the value home in the Her Biz Breakdown segment. And finally, on Friday, this is where we pull out the morning show that had the basic information that you would need that inspired us going to the next level. So we take you back to that background of basic stuff in case you need it. So Wednesday, on Fridays, we go into the morning show vault and pull out those episodes, even the past blogs. All right. Find out more about me, your host, Shay Cannon. Plus, get a link to our free business mastermind group right here on YouTube in the community portion. But I know a lot of y'all like, where is the community on YouTube? No worries. It's down below. It's the link gonna take you right there. All right. If you have not already, give us a thumbs up, like the episode. Make sure you are subscribed to the channel. Also, again, the value continues. So check out the Biz Breakdown video. And with that, you guys have a great day, and we'll see you next week. All right. Have a good one. All right. Stream is ended. That was a lot of information. I only saw one of y'all look in the show notes. Do y'all have